white Umbrian.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a girl there
Massimo.
who was resurrecting Falangina.
Yeah, right. That was a really good fellow.
Hi.
That was the hardest interview I had. Was this really, really attractive young fifth generation winemaker, and I couldn't get boo out of her.
Oh. Well.
And then I said boo to her, and no reaction.
Yeah, right. Just when you thought it was safe to go outside.
Hey, welcome to the continuing. No, wait, hold on. Welcome to. This is February Wines. Why are you so behind?
February. And what a behind it is! All right, the classic series of the Wine of the Month Club. I'm here with the supposed leader of our generation here.
It's a whole new thing of things. I got all kinds of new sounds for you.
That's great. You know, I was just hoping that you'd finally change those, but I didn't think it'd get worse.
No.
And there you have it.
So you heard the news?
Yeah.
We're starting a podcast, an official podcast, twice a week. You and I are going to record the first one today, actually, or at least test it out. And the podcasts are going to be on Tuesday. We're going to release the audio of all these interviews that we've done here at the Wine of the Month Club with these fancy and well-known winemakers. And then Thursday is going to be wine subjects. So we'll talk about stuff. We'll have Peter Coffin here. We'll have Patrick Farrell in here. Elizabeth Schweitzer, Master of Wine, in here. Well, she's Master of Song. But just having some fun conversation about it. Not trying to demystify it, just trying to really expose it, some of its business. We're going to talk today about business. Because I'm tired of seeing this crap on the marketplace.
How do you really feel?
Being sold as legit stuff, €1 wines, which is $1.15, $13 today, and bottling it. And there's things like Saturday Night Live. Why would you buy a Saturday Night Live? Well, I guess I'm insulting anybody that bought some, but it was bad for one, and two, what's the point? But we'll talk about that later.
I tried to sign on to Naked Wines, and I got so upended on their website, I gave up, and I sent them a nasty email. I said, God, if your wines are as bad as your website, I wouldn't want them anyway.
Anyway, so we're here, though, to discuss. This is the beginning of all our videos for today. We're going to use this footage as sort of the preamble, but we were talking about 40 years ago, so that'd be 1979.
1979. Yeah.
So I'm now at SC. I've retired, so to speak, from the wine shop. But what was my dad featuring?
Actually, fabulous wine, Wente Petit Syrah, which was just a phenomenal bottle of wine. And Oppenheimer, and I can't remember the second name, I couldn't even pronounce it, German Riesling from the Rheinhessen, that was $3.49 a fifth.
$3.49 a fifth.
Yeah,
Now, here's what's funny about the Wente Petit Syrah. One day, so being this is 1979, so right around when I'm at home, my friends' parents were on vacation. We decided to go to their house, my other buddies, and we turned on their jacuzzi and we flooded the whole thing out. We broke into their house. We hung around and watched TV. And, of course, when they got home, they realized that, my friends, us, had invaded the home. And as a thank you, as a punishment, as an apology, I took him a bottle of Wente Petit Syrah. Well, that was
damn nice.
It was great.
Well, it was really interesting because underneath that, your dad listed a bunch of Rieslings that he had in the store, and most of them were Bernkasseler Doctor. Do you know what the price of Bernkasseler Doctor was in 1979?
I do not remember.
$49 a bottle.
What?
Yes, exactly. I'm going, wow, man, that stuff was really expensive then.
It's really expensive.
I mean, $49 a bottle. I mean, when you're selling the other stuff for $3.49, he was selling Second Growth Bordeaux for $6.
$6.99.
I was pretty shocked. But again, those wines they were and still are in demand, and they just don't make that much of it,
Huh.
So anyway,
because I just bought we went to Trinchero over when we were in Napa, and I bought their best stuff, and I wasn't even paying that.
Oh God, no! I remember.
This is today.
I remember going to Sutter Home in 1973, and stuff was $1.99.
That's the other thing we're working on. I'm trying to get, and you'll be involved with this. I was going to write a book or have a book written, but I'm finding that the ghostwriting business is sort of a sham. Not that it is, but it just feels like it. And I want to get an investigative journalist who knows how to ask the right questions to peel back Dad's career and all the stories that you and my father have regarding the growth of California wine during the period of the store, because it seemed to be an integral part of the Southern California wine scene, as well as the idea that, that's when everything was happening, right?
To a degree, you're absolutely right. I mean, I remember looking up the first time I tried to find out, maybe 1976 or 75, there were 260 wineries in California, and now there's 4,000.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that sounded like a digital marketing to me. Wow.
Welcome. You get these guys.
Welcome to the limited
women.
series of the Wine of the Month.
Yeah, I got something to say here. We're not talking about wine now.
Okay, why don't you turn out and come back later when we're talking about wine?
And speaking of digital marketing, don't forget we're going to be sending you guys notice of our new podcast starting up soon. A couple of weeks we'll be launching it, and you'll be able to watch or listen to great interviews from winemakers all over the world, as well as frank conversation with Frank.
I was going to say Frank, yeah. Okay,
Frank
so I won't be involved because my name isn't Frank. But
wine authors like Ed Masciana and Master of Wine Peter Koff and Master of Wine Patrick Farrell and Master Sommelier Elizabeth Schweitzer and Master Sommelier A.O.C. and potentially even one of America's premier chefs, Joachim Spichal. All these kinds of wonderful people to talk about wine.
Thank you. All right.
So, had a LA Times freelance writer in the office the other day tasting with me because she was noticing the congestion in this industry and she wanted to know how we do it.
How does he do it?
How do you do it? How do you do it? So, but what I thought of something. Listen to this. You've been hanging around here since like '69, right?
Yeah.
And my dad started tasting wines Tuesdays with the doctors at the pharmacy.
Right.
My job was to brown bag the wines, and they go upstairs in that makeshift loft.
Right.
Remember that thing?
Right.
Where all the overstock was?
Yep.
And they would taste wines. And that became this whole PV thing, right? We've never stopped doing that Tuesday. I've not missed a Tuesday here or any other building we've been in since, unless I was sick or out of town.
Right. Well, but that...
And that's just the tradition because we actually do taste all the wines that come in here to pick the best values. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Stick with me. This is an Inquisition.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, so she was here, and she's like, I said, do you like Sardinian wine? She goes, I love Sardinian wines. I'm like, what? I've never even really
Well,
knew they were.
unfortunately, not everybody that works at the Wine of the Month Club knows a lot about wine. So I look up what we're featuring, and I see Perdera, and it's something else they put in there. They put from Sardinia. They put everything but the name of the producer. And I'm going, Perdera. I think there's only one guy that makes Perdera, and that's Arjolas. So I said, is this Arjolas? No, it's Perdera. Well, look at the label. Oh, yeah, it says Arjolas on there. Arjola, yeah. Now,
Okay, so Monica is one of the great indigenous grapes. Ed and I had a great experience a couple of weeks ago in downtown LA at the Trebecchieri at Gambero Rosso tasting, where there were other Sardinian, Sicilian, and even Corsican wines.
yes,
the
which
French
are,
island.
Corsica's great, but they're really expensive.
But what's interesting to me is that those islands have their own indigenous grapes.
They do.
So
Well,
this is one of them.
Except that they are Italian. So you have to put that into perspective.
Welcome to Italy.
You see, Monica is also known in France as Grenache.
Oh.
Or no, that's Cananau. Sorry, Cananau is Grenache. But yeah, they give it different names, but it's the same name somewhere else. Or it's the same grape somewhere else, I mean...
Well, it has to be because they get transplanted. But Monica, this particular version, what I love about all the island wines, Sicily, Corsica, Sardinia, is this Mediterranean savoriness, which this has a little bit of in the finish. That offshore wind coming from the Mediterranean, dusting the vines with
A little salt.
salted air,
Yeah.
and it comes through in the wine. And this,
It really does. I mean, it's hard to wrap yourself around that because it's really not that much salt. I mean, that's like saying, well, if I walked outside and opened my mouth, I'd get a mouthful of salt. And that's
yeah,
not
but it's a
quite
year's
like
worth of the environment. Now, the most obvious description of the influence that could have that I've ever tasted was a wine grown near Gilroy.
garlic capital of the world.
Yeah,
It smelled like garlic.
Yeah, when you drive through Gilroy, it smells like garlic in
that's
the
for
air,
sure.
and it was in the wine. And I forgot what wine it was. It was Clos La Chance, I think.
Clos de Chance. I remember that wine. Yeah,
was great.
we featured that once about 30 years ago.
So what I love about these things is that they're hard to describe because you've not tasted them before. And here's a wonderful spice component in this wine. Great balance, great leanness through the palate, and a great long finish.
Well, $25 I think is a little expensive, but $15.99 is a great deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's $25 is about what they sell. And these wines are typically expensive because they just don't make a lot. So they don't care if we buy it or not.
They got to come across the boat to the mainland. They got to take the mainland to another boat to somewhere else. It costs money to get them here.
Right.
That's why we don't see a lot of them. But I was fascinated by this. She loved it, this Times writer. She was also privy to tasting the Saturday Night Live Beaujolais, which she goes, I love Beaujolais. She goes, but not this one.
Well, it's not even Beaujolais. It doesn't come from France, right?
No, it was French Beaujolais.
Oh, it was French Beaujolais. I didn't realize that.
It was unbelievable.
Oh,
right?
my God.
It was like...
Well, there's bad wine made everywhere, boys and girls.
Yes.
So I'm at 97.
I'm at 98. I just think it's too interesting.
That's fine. You can do whatever you want. Okay, you're up.
There we go.
Oh, no, I'm Espressivo.
No, it's this one. All right. Hang on to your hats, folks. Batten down the hatches.
Oh, yeah.
Lucy and Katie bar the door. This is like one serious Malbec. And even
I could barely hold a bottle for crying out
even
loud.
the broker that brought it to me said, you can't believe this deal. You just can't believe it. And so it's $30 on the shelf approximately. It's $18.99 for more. Big heavy bottle.
And the label is actually a picture of Ben Marco, and he's looked better than that, I think.
And it's a Malbec Cab Franc, a very unusual blend. But it's just loaded. It's just absolutely freaking loaded. I get chocolate. I get coffee.
Yeah, but it's not a big tannic monster. I mean, it still has some elegance to it. Look at that glass. Look at that glass.
I know.
That's hilarious.
It looks like a stained glass window.
Oh my God! I think I could paint my car that color.
So fun.
Wow, this is really it's amazing.
Cocoa.
I mean,
coffee.
$28.99 is actually a really good
really
price
good
for
price
that,
for
and
wine.
$18.99 is stupid.
It's stupid
price.
You see Mark Salter at the tasting? Mark Salter's with...
No, I didn't see Mark. I don't know that I would have recognized him. I haven't seen him in so long.
He's the one that says stupid. This is the stupid. So I walked up to him at the counter. He's there at these tastings. You see, there's tables and tables and tables of wine, and we know most of the people that are pouring them. So I walked up to Mark and said, "What do you got? That's a stupid price." And that's his term. You know. Well, stupid price today. I've got this Pinot Grigio. But did you see the post by Monty Montgomery? Montgomery Paulson.
Yeah.
The other day was St. Patty's Day.
No, I didn't see that.
And I reflected. I went back and I watched our video with him. It was so funny. And I remember the days when his dad would pour, and Dickie Smothers would pour, and Fess Parker would pour.
That's right. No, I do them all
on a different plane. Right? They're not no longer the celebrity. They're the wine guy. Right.
Right. Well, I became very close friends with his father. His father, Pat Paulson, was not only probably the funniest guy I ever met in my life, but he was really a nice guy. I mean, we just kind of bonded,
Great
Okay,
story.
next.
This is a 99 for me.
I'm at 98. I'm gonna need a little rinse because this is stupid. As a matter of fact, I think I called him and said, "Is there a misprint here? You're doing Jadot Bourgogne Blanc?" Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Part of the fact that we were able to get this wine, I think, has a lot to do with the fact we're tied to the brand. They like us. We've interviewed their winemakers, 2 of them. We interviewed Jacques Lavier, who's now at Resonance in Oregon, and now Frederic Barnier, who's their current winemaker. And we're just a friend of the brand. And so when they had this opportunity pop up, they thought of us first.
Well, good friends to have, because when you talk about Chardonnay and you talk about really great, really expensive Chardonnay, there's really only one place you're going to go, and that's Burgundy. And without question, Jadot probably makes more great Burgundy than any other producer. I mean,
for sure. You know how long their list is? I mean, they must have 300 wines.
Yes, I know. And I remember going to a tasting of Grand Cru white Burgundies. It's like, oh my God. And then, oh my God, it's even better. I mean, the wines were just absolutely mind-boggling. They're just mind-boggling.
So I got.
But they're also, $500, $600, $700 a bottle too.
Right. I got asked to come to Beverly Hills a month ago, 2 months ago, and interview Mr. Barnier, the current winemaker, director of operations, and then we tasted through, I don't know, 2017 barrel samples.
Oh, wow.
Okay, at crustaceans. And then we went to lunch. Now, I was first of all thinking, when they usually do those lunches post-tastings, there's a long table of 20 people, and all the guys from Young's or States, whoever's running the show, they're all there, and they're all trying to hobnob. No. Ended up being me, the winemaker, the young lady who's now in charge of North America, and some guy who's part of Young's, and he left early. So the three of us are sitting at Wally's having lunch, and I had this great conversation with them. And then they gave me 8 half bottles of the barrel samples that were left over from the tasting.
Oh, cool.
So I went home and I immediately called 4 of my friends.
I didn't get a call. I don't remember a call.
Shit.
I don't remember a call. I mean, I might have had my phone turned off because it was 2 o'clock in the morning. But
these are aspiring guys that have cellars in their homes and are trying to learn about wine.
Me
right?
too.
Yeah,
me
like
too.
you need to learn about it. And they freaked out. Just because.
But what were they?
Oh, there was a Pomar and there was a Saint Louis.
Sauvignon Le Bon?
Yeah, Sauvignon Le Bon. No, I don't think I saw Le Bon. He poured that at the other thing, though.
The white.
No, it was a Sauvignon. Yeah.
Sauvignon Le Bon Blanc.
Yeah.
That
That's one of
is
them.
an amazing bottle of wine. Nobody knows it even exists because it's probably 1% of the entire.
It wasn't their
Appellation
brand.
is
It was
white.
their other. They own another brand that makes that.
Well, it
was
used
so
to be
good.
under the Jadot label. They used
So
to make
good.
a Sauvignon Bon Blanc. I used to drink it, 50 years ago.
But what I was trying to explain to these guys about Burgundy versus any other district in the world is that these plots of land where the soil changes and they're so descriptive. There's only one grape, right? One white, one red.
Period. The end.
And all the differences, particularly with the Jadot wine, since there's one winemaker, is where was it grown?
Well, yeah.
That defines the wine, and nothing could be more expressive in the world than Burgundy when it comes to that.
Well, yeah. But there's another problem that has to be addressed, and that is the average holding. If you take all the acres in Burgundy and you divide the number of people that own property in Burgundy into that number, the average holding is 1.5 acres, from which you might be able to make 150 cases of wine. That's it. Now, that's the average. A lot of people like Jadot own a lot of property, but they also buy a lot of stuff from people. Some guys own like 1 row or 2 rows. Well, what are they going to do? They can, they make enough.
That's it.
They grow enough grapes to make 3 bottles. So
that's so interesting because when I interviewed a winemaker from Bordeaux, that family that owned this winery tried to buy in Burgundy. They weren't allowed in. Because why? Because if you own a Grand Cru vineyard in Burgundy and you have this little piece of land, there's like a line of people waiting to get those grapes. If you don't want those grapes, somebody else is going to buy them and pay more for them, right?
Yeah, there's no question.
They're not selling.
But
They're not going to sell that piece of land to anybody.
The problem, though, is the fact that how much money are you going to make selling those grapes versus what it costs you to tend that land? And we're going to talk about, if you want, growing grapes and what that costs during the podcast.
We're going to talk about that podcast.
Okay, because I got some numbers from people and I was flabbergasted, to tell you the truth. Anyway, well, I'm 98. I love this wine.
It's great. Not talking about the wine previously. What I'm fascinated by this, clearly Burgundy, not California Chardonnay, nothing like the 4 wines we've tasted already today from California Chards. That's the beauty of Burgundy, France.
But at $15.99, there are grapes that came from vineyards that wine sell for $100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you wanted more of this, didn't you?
Yeah, because I love Gerard Bertrand.
He's a great.
This guy, I mean,
he owns like, I don't know, 20 wineries or something, some crazy number. He's got 15 biodynamic wineries, I know that. Plus his regular stuff.
All I know is that his prices have remained very, very, very competitive. His wines are always great. How many have we done of his? Maybe 5 or 6?
5 or 6 in the last 10 years. This is called Perles, Pour de France, Pour de Sauvignon Blanc, Gerard Bertrand, 2017.
I wanted,
just south of France, which means it's a pretty big area.
I wanted to buy a case of this without even tasting it. That's how good this guy is. I mean, that's how good their wines are. I would buy a case of Gerard Bertrand without even tasting it. I don't have to taste it.
Great acidity.
Oh my God, I love the nose.
With all kinds of, it's almost got, it's not grapefruity. It's grapefruit, but it's not overdone like
It
Marlboro.
almost has some rockiness like white Bordeaux going on. I'm at 99 on this.
Yeah,
I think
there's some
this wine
flippiness
is
there.
absolutely stunning, and for $13.99, wow, that's absolutely beautiful wine, you know. And again, I mean, Gerard Bertrand, I'd pretty much buy anything that he made, and I don't, you know, I mean.
So when you
'cause-
go to the store, he has a whole bunch of regional charactered wines, Minervois, whatever locations. But he also has his upper tier, which are all biodynamic, very, very fascinating wines. And then he's got some Cremant, he's got some Rosé, he's got a huge spectrum of
yeah,
wine.
but
One of the most respected guys around.
Upper end wines is what pricing? $50?
Not even.
40? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, I mean, upper end pricing to me is, you know, when I was talking to my buddy who sold a bottle of Latache for $4,000.
Who wouldn't? Hey, that's the limited series for February of 2019.
19.
Correct.
Yeah,
So-
between the two of us, we make one brain. You know that, right?